Hi, my name is Ben O'Connor, and this is for Survey of Special Education, Mild to Moderate Disabilities, Professor John Hill. Today, I'm going to go over and explain the IEP process to parents. All right, so the first thing that parents need to know is how they can be involved. And the first thing that they need to know is that none of this process happens without their consent. All right, so parents need to feel comfortable, or should feel comfortable, that nothing will be done without them knowing about it. All right, so I've got a few things here that I want to cover. First of all, one of the things is the free and appropriate public education. That's important to realize is that this is free to you. These services are offered without charge to parents. The education system, the approach that's going to be taken is to try to keep students in the least restrictive environments as possible. In other words, we're not going to pull students right out of a general classroom and put them in a special needs classroom. We want to evaluate the students. There's a process that takes place, and they will determine what needs they have, and then we'll have to meet those accordingly. But the parents absolutely get to be part of that entire process. Um, it's important for the parents to remember that they oversee the whole thing. The parents have the right to know what's going on, what the test results are, what modifications will be made, and you have the right to say, hey, I'm not sure that I agree with that. If you do disagree with that, you can actually do what's called, you can call in a moderator if the school is willing to listen to you, which in most cases, having spoken with principals and teachers, um, they really want to work with you. But if for some reason you can't, they will bring someone in and they will sort it out with you. And those are your rights. The referral process, I kind of alluded to that. The referral process usually is something that a teacher can initiate. A lot of times they will come to you and ask you if you think that these things are happening, that you observe any of these needs with your student, and they will ask you, what you want to do. Now, in the state of West Virginia, we do test every pre-K kid. There are certain tests that are administered across the board to see if there are any issues that might be caught early on to prevent any minor disabilities from getting worse. And then, of course, there's an evaluation process. That evaluation process will happen at least once you're in the IEP program. It will happen at least once a year. They'll review it, go over it. You'll agree to it or not agree to it, and it will just continue. Your child is able to be involved in the process, and much like yourself, although there are certain instances where they would probably not want the student there for the whole thing because you're talking about them and that might be difficult for them. So, really, it just depends on what is appropriate. But yes, you do want to have the student involved in the process. We don't want this to be a mystery to them. And besides that, students often know what their difficulties are and can communicate those things probably more efficiently than the people who are around them in some instances. Again, this is mild to moderate disabilities. Again, there's an annual review. Procedural safeguards. So there are safeguards that are put in place, and the school has to give notice to you before providing services. The parent has the legal right to participate in the IEP meetings. Parents have the right to see all documentation. Parents must be informed and must consent before service is provided. Documentation has to be done in writing. Any changes to the IEP process, it has to be provided to you in writing. And if there's any kind of discrepancy, you have what's called a stay put protection order, which means that you can just halt everything and keep it right in place until an agreement is met. Related services Here in West Virginia, we have something called the West Virginia Parent Training and Information Center. Their website is www.wvpti-inc.org, and they are a third-party organization that can help parents to grapple with and wrestle with and understand some of these processes if the parent doesn't feel comfortable or feel like the school is providing them with all the information. But most of the schools are doing a very good job. But again, for verification purposes and also just for collaboration, parents can reach out to this organization. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.